Welcome, everybody, to the Infernal Brotherhood of the Scruffy Looking Nerf Herders. This is a live YouTube streaming video podcast by Star Wars fans for Star Wars fans.
It's us.
And today we're going to be continuing our episodic review of Star Wars Andor with Episode 6, The Eye. If you would have told me this was the finale, I would have been like, all right, yeah, obviously it's the finale. This was so goddamn good. And this is just the middle of the season.
I know.
Holy shit.
It doesn't
Like,
make any sense.
No, it makes me nervous for the next half of the season because how
sure.
the fuck are they going to live up to this?
Well, they are doing it in those little like 3-episode bursts, right? So we got the first 3 was Andor getting involved with this group. The second 3 was them pulling off a gig. What now? Is it a time jump? Like what? I don't. Oh gosh, there's so much because now it's got to be like a focus on the ISB. Like we need to hunt these rebels down.
Yeah, I mean that's fucking how it ended. And God damn it, that was so fucking good.
I've been in those type of meetings where they're like, call your family, we're not leaving. Except I'm a graphic designer now. And I've been in those meetings. It's the worst too. We're like, we just had a new client request come in. We got to fire on this. They got a trade show or convention or something. And we got to do it tonight. I'm just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, man, I've been there too. Like, you know, boss is like, oh, nobody gets to go home. We're all going to like a haunted house or out to dinner. Fucking tell your family they're invited. It's just terrible. It's terrible.
That is not the same.
It's exactly the same.
So bullshit. Examples. Hey, Pika fan. Yeah, this is great. I'm glad you loved this because this was the best damn episode yet, and they've all been good.
Yeah,
Not one has been a stinker.
No. Then anybody that says otherwise is fucking stupid. They've been watching a completely different show than we have.
Yeah, I refuse to acknowledge their existence. So this was directed by Susanna White, written by Dan Gilroy. Of course, it premiered last week on Wednesday, October 12th. Let's get into it. Let's do a walkthrough.
Yeah. So, I mean, fuck. This is perfect because they're not doing a whole bunch of setup for each episode to get you up to date. Because, I mean, really, you watched the last episode. You should know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it gets right into it with them, you know, infiltrating the place. Shit's hilarious. They're trying to get a hold of, God, I always forget their names.
Vel?
I'm so bad with names. Yeah,
Vel
sure.
and Krita, I think.
There we go.
Cinta,
That's
not Krita, Cinta.
Yeah, Cinta. Which that shit was hilarious. Like not wanting to jump over the thing.
Yeah.
I would die too for a cause that I believed in, but I probably wouldn't jump off a dam. So I 100% can relate to that.
Are we good? What did you think of the goat hide exchange?
Oh my God. Why would you waste it? I mean, I get it. It's, you know, the dude's a dick, but still, like, why would you waste the damn hide?
Yeah. I was so frustrated that, first of all, it's not like wool, you know, that's like shaved off the goat. It's the hide. So they killed an animal in order to get that stupid present. And then the fucker just burns it. Like, what?
Yeah, dude's an asshole.
What do you? It's okay to hate the Empire. We all do. Unless, of course, you're a Sith, which is fine then. But even then, you probably hate the Empire. And you just want to further your own Sith goals.
Yeah,
like
obviously.
so. What? I just don't. I can't comprehend it. I understand it's he's making a statement to his people, but the follow-up statement is, "But we could have used that."
Right? The thing is, the Empire is draining them of all their fucking resources. That's all this planet used to be, was a fucking farming planet, and now it's just a few select people with like regular cities now and shit. Like, I get it. Spit at his fucking feet when he hands it to you. It's something like that. It's symbolic, not actually wasting a resource that's limited.
Dude, I loved Gorn's interaction with that priest when the priest is like talking shit to his superior and he's like softening the blow and the dude's like, that's not what I said.
Yeah, that shit was pretty funny.
I just love that so much. But yeah, like it all falls into place. It works perfectly. I thought they would have been questioned about who are these guys from? Like the lieutenant or the commandant J-Hold B has fucking names. He was just like, so you're from this outpost? Okay. Like, no one checks on anything. And it's exactly what Andor said at the very fucking beginning. They're so fat and greedy, they wouldn't even consider someone sneaking in.
Yeah, because why?
Right under their nose.
Like, that's the thing about being the apex predator. You don't have to worry about people coming after you because you're the one that goes after them. So, yeah, it makes sense.
Good. It was so goddamn good. All right, so they finally, convince, or she drums up the courage to answer, like, yes, let's go, let's do this. It's a go. What happens next? Because it gets crazy.
Yeah, that's when they fucking get in. And that shit is like one beat after the other. Like, you think it's going to be a long, drawn out thing, like they're being careful. And no, as soon as they get in with the commandant, they fucking immediately start like, everybody get down! It's just intense as shit.
It reminded me of the beginning of Pulp Fiction when she jumps up. Everyone, there's a robbery. Any of you fucking pricks move. I'll execute every last one of you. I was just like, yeah this just happened. this Pulp Fiction. Straight up. They're like hog tying people and shit.
Yeah. Well, and the crazy thing about this episode, too, is the second the tension starts to build, it does not let go at all until the end. And even then, it only lets go because the episode ends.
Yeah.
Like, they consistently held that. Like, I was white-knuckling this episode the whole time. Didn't even realize it.
Yeah, because we knew going in there's going to be casualties.
Yeah, of course.
Of course you're going to lose some people. I did not expect them to lose as many as they did.
You mean everyone? I didn't see that one coming.
So Gorn didn't make it. He got capped. Tarmarin got capped. Sintra got left behind. What the fuck is she going to do? She's like dead. Dressed up as an Imperial. They're going to find out. So she's got to, like, in the chaos, like, run into the hills or something. And hopefully she makes it, because I actually really like her character.
Same.
But fucking Nemec almost got capped by a goddamn money crushing him. And that moment when so I don't know if we want to jump ahead so far, but
whatever.
We'll bounce around. Yeah. We'll have some fun. When he gets crushed, did you think he was going to instantly be dead?
Yeah.
I did too. And then he's paralyzed, which is like, okay, so you fucked your spine up, so you can't feel your legs. That makes sense. But meanwhile, they've just ejected into, like, upper atmosphere. Cassian needs coordinates. And they're just like, hold on a second. We're dealing with a hurt person. He's like, I don't know where to turn. I'm just, we're going to be killed by TIE fighters. TIE fighters, the worst ship.
Or the fucking eye.
Yeah. Or the goddamn meteor shower that we're just like flying through as a planet.
Right.
That's something that made me think about just astronomy, which I really, really love because, these religious sect people, I'm going to go on a small tangent. I'll keep it tight. These religious people are like, no, this never ends. It's a constant cycle, and it's part of their religious thing. From a physics issue, from space issue. Yeah, because you're on a planet hurling around a star, and the asteroid belt doesn't move. So you're just periodically going through the asteroid belt, which is causing this. And just like thinking about it in those terms rather than thinking of in terms of the asteroids happening to you, it's really you flying through the asteroids. I find that so much more interesting as far as like a celestial event happening. I don't know. It just immediately took me out of the show for just the briefest moments to think about that. Like, no, you're hurling millions of miles through space. That's why that's happening. It's not them moving through you, It's like when we see falling stars, or, shooting stars, those are comets and meteors and asteroids moving and stuff. But that's not what they're experiencing. They're going through an asteroid belt, Like, fuck. It's so cool. Anyway, I'm a space nerd.
It's fucking trip. Yeah. No, it was dope as hell.
It looks so beautiful, too.
It really did.
And then when they were actually in the escape and the TIE fighters were trying to lock onto them and stuff, and they couldn't because there's so many other objects in the way, and you're seeing, like, the I don't know what they would be called, asteroids or whatever, like flying right next to them, and then it finally clips some of them. I was so stressed.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe what I was watching. It was just like, this was better than Empire. Like Empire Strikes Back, when Han Solo is trying to flee Darth Vader's Star Destroyer.
This is better than the fucking Kessel Run in Solo.
Yeah. And they had a monster attached to him.
Monster, yeah.
So good. I love this show so much. All right. So finally they, he sort of rallies himself and he gives him the coordinates and he's like, fly straight up, fly straight down.
Well, I feel like you're missing the other Pulp Fiction reference type thing. Because he didn't just like wake up and
Oh,
navigate.
right.
They
Right.
fucking straight up like shot him with a stimulant. And he Uma Thurman that shit. Bah! Okay. All right, this is where you're gonna go.
Exactly. But you're so right. When I was watching it, I made the connection and I just hadn't thought of it since. That's so good. Um, I don't know. Did you ever play Star Wars Galaxies, the MMO, when it first came out, like years and years and years and years ago?
No.
It's like the most popular Star Wars MMO ever made, or game ever made for people who played it, because it's like Knights of the Old Republic, except it's an MMO. It's like it was really, really cool back in the day. Anyway, stims are huge in Star Wars. Like that's how you get, I mean, it's like drugs or pills here in our world, That's how you get your fix, or you get extra boost of energy or whatever. And of course we have no death sticks and, drugs and stuff. But like that's the thing. So I thought it was so cool that they just, they're constantly just adding into and feeding off of the existing universe rather than trying to, pull some bullshit out of their hat like sequel trilogy did. Like this is in universe 100% at all times, and it just feels so good as a viewer to see it. I loved it so much.
Yeah.
Pike fan is saying the visuals and cinematography in this episode were incredible. Easily your favorite of the season so far. Yeah, I totally.
Yeah, there's no argument.
Badass.
This was perfection.
I also loved the way that they interacted with the Imperials when they were trying to get them to get the money onto the ship in the first place. I mean, Skeen turns out to be, scum and villainy, of course, because that's who he is. But like his interaction with them, he's like, which one of you wants to die? Raise your hand.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, the next 10 minutes, you're going to work your fucking asses off as hard as you've ever done it, and then you'll live and we'll be gone. And I just loved that interaction, because normally it would just be some heavy coming in saying, get your asses off there. But no, he's like, look, we don't want to kill you. So just work really hard until we need to get out of here, and then you can go on your way. And it was working. It was working until the goddamn commo guy came by.
Oh man, that shit was so funny when fucking homeboy dropped dead of a heart attack. Like that made my day.
Yeah. Poor Commander or Commandant B has.
Yeah, that guy was an asshole.
First of all, he was a
deserved
dick to his
an
wife
asshole
too.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have to have. I gotta say this really quick though, because it presented him as a total douchebag to his wife and son, but his son was a bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
his son was a bitch.
He used that "I don't feel good" excuse a billion times, and then his mom allowed him, enabled him to be a bitch. And that just as a parent, that makes me so angry. You can't just support kids that try to get out of stuff by saying, I don't feel good. No, life. You have responsibilities in life.
Yeah.
You have commitments that you've made. And whether you made it or not doesn't matter, because you're a fucking child. So get your damn suit on and get the fuck. And then she's like, I can't help you with your belt because I'm dressing our 12-year-old son.
Yeah. God.
You can't dress yourself at 12, motherfucker?
Yeah, I know motherfuckers that are almost 40 that can't dress themselves. So
okay, maybe that's not a big thing. It made me so mad. That mom was the worst mom ever, because she's enabling bad behavior in this shitty little kid, and it's just making the entire thing worse. Like, it makes me just feel like they deserve to be killed. Like, do we want little kids like this running the Empire? Really? No. Ugh.
No, but those are gonna be the motherfuckers that do.
Yeah. They suck. It's crazy because there's not a lot that's going on in this episode. It's the heist that they've been planning for the last 2 episodes. And so it's just firing on all cylinders, everything happening all at once. And there's a couple close calls, and then the commo guy comes down with the squad, and he's like, what the hell's going on? He's like, this is a top secret mission. Yeah, that's the ticket. You're not supposed to be here. It didn't work. Like, I figured that would have worked. I don't know.
It might have worked if fucking homeboy hadn't died.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he was like considering, he's like, I mean,
like,
that is a direct order, so maybe.
Oh man, that was just so bad. And the firefight, I really wanted some of those guys to make it through. Like, I wanted Gorn to go through when they were telling him, you're going to be hung for this. And he's like, I've worked for you for 12 years. I deserve worse.
Yeah, like, that was just like, yeah, That's a motherfucker that needs to be a leader in the rebellion.
Yeah, I wanted him
That's
to
plain
live
and
so
simple.
bad.
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I will say that his death, it was so understated that it was like, really? I mean, I get it, like why they didn't make a big deal of it, because they didn't really make a big deal of anybody's death.
Yeah.
But still, it's like that just seems like that would be one of those moments where everybody's like, oh shit.
Everyone just stops for a minute. Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that they kept the pace with it because, you know, you're in a firefight,
Mhm.
literally kill or be killed any second, and it's just a little bit of Durasteel between you and death at any given moment. And
Yeah.
so, you know, you're here for the mission. As long as you're moving forward to the mission, you're done. And I guess the disconnect a little bit for me is there were military people in that unit, like the former stormtrooper that was leading them, Tamarin, and then Gorn is an active duty Imperial officer.
Mhm.
So I could understand them moving forward and not thinking about it. But civilians who've never done this before, I feel like they would have stopped and be like, oh shit, no, no, you know, like
Yeah.
they would have done that or something. But instead, they just acted as if they were hardened mercenaries, which they're not. So I don't know. Was that weird to you, or did you buy it?
No, I bought it. I mean, you got to consider the circumstances. Like, this is it. They know this is life or death. And I mean, especially with the kid, like, he had a fucking manifesto, for Christ's sakes. Like,
True.
he knew
It's
he was
true.
going to be a martyr.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would just imagine when you're on that line, it's just like, you know, I'm gonna die either way. I just need to fucking finish this out.
Yeah. I loved the Saving Private Ryan moment between that Imperial guy that was loading stuff and Cassian. How he like got behind him and they're like just man to man, like
Mhm.
trying to fight to survive. Cassian's almost dead, but then the kid Nemec ends up sniping the Imperial from behind, barely getting him. Cassian almost died. The entire mission would have been blown to shit because no one
Yep.
else can pilot this damn thing. And it reminded me of that Saving Private Ryan moment when it was between the Nazi and the guy up in the tower, and he's just slowly pushing the dagger into the dude's chest, and he's just like, ah, like that's what I was feeling about Cassian. I was like, they can't kill Cassian. It's called Andor. What the fuck is happening right now? Like, how are they gonna
Yeah,
get out
that's
of
the
this?
thing. Like, it was like, obviously we know he doesn't die,
Yeah.
obviously, but God, you almost believed it for a second.
Mm-hmm. Testament to the acting and everything. It was so
Mhm.
good. So then they finally get out, and we already mentioned the chase scene with the TIE fighters. Of course, the TIE fighters eat it because they have no fucking shields. And
Yeah.
so they just get just devastated by these asteroids. As, you know, whatever that ship is called goes through the eye up into the upper atmosphere, which was very, very cool.
Mhm.
And then they land on this sort of wave planet in order to see if they can get Nemec taken care of. And so Vel's in there with him, and it's just Cassian and Skeen outside.
Well, and that was even just the lead up to getting to the doctor was pretty goddamn intense, because they're like,
Yeah.
no, we have a mission to finish. And it's like, but the kid's fucking dying. And there's a contingency for having medical aid. Well, no,
Yeah.
we got to finish this. And Cassian is like, nah, fuck it, we're taking care of the goddamn kid. It's like, it just shows that he's better than the other motherfuckers.
Yeah. And I mean, he's genuinely, you know, he's rash. He's a very Han Solo shoot first, think later type guy. But I don't know. Like I really, really think at his core, you know, it's a sense of justice
Mhm.
and care for those that he chooses to include in his tribe, which is an endearing quality, I think.
Yeah.
So Skeen is basically, you know, trying to get him to rip off Vel and Nemec, and ultimately the guy who hired him, Rail. And Cassian is having none of it. Doesn't even really think anything. He's just confirming exactly what Skeen is saying, and then he shoots him in the face and doesn't even think about it.
God, that was so perfect.
Ugh,
Like,
I was shocked.
I knew it was gonna happen. Like,
Mhm.
obviously they were gonna try to fight, and one of them was gonna die. Obviously not Andor.
Yeah.
But God, that was just so abrupt. And like, of course that's how he's gonna do it.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen him do it with the guard. We saw him do it in Rogue One at the very beginning. So we know he's capable of murder.
Mhm.
It's just seeing it, someone he was just working with.
Mhm.
And the fact that I really liked that character. He was fighting to get Nemec some help. And so that sort of endeared me to him. Like, oh,
Yeah.
he cares about the kid. And then he's trying to rip the kid off the next second. And so that was a bit of a weird flip-flop between Vel and Skeen to me, where first Vel didn't give a fuck, and now she's the only one that cares, and then Skeen gave a fuck, but now he doesn't give a fuck. That was...
But do you think he really gave a fuck, or did he see an opportunity?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's
a
kind
good
of how
point.
I took it.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but that makes perfect sense. Yeah. He was just trying to set up an opportunity in order to rip them off, which is perfect, which is logical. I love that. And then, of course, Cassian goes in there. I love the Doctor. Can we just talk about the Doctor really quick? So cool.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting it to, like, really not like him because he's so weird looking. But for some reason, as soon as Cassian comes in, his little hands come up.
Yeah, I was just waiting for him to start, whipping. Any moment.
What? Like a tattoo artist or something?
No.
What do you mean?
Like the fucking the holiday special. The baking show?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I didn't even consider that. I don't want that in my head. That will ruin the moment for me. Oh gosh, that was horrible. Yeah, okay. I think you just ruined that character for me. God damn it. I really liked him.
As soon as I saw the forearms, it's like, oh man.
Oh man.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, he didn't do it. I can like this character.
My wife almost ruined it by saying, so is he going to be a cybernetic guy like in Boba Fett? I was like,
Thank
no!
God he's not a mod artist.
Yeah, this is not a mod parlor. He's going to be okay. And then he wasn't. I mean, he's dealing with fucking delicate nerves in his spine, so I'm not surprised that he couldn't do it. But maybe with forearms you would be better. I don't know, but apparently not. Poor Nemec, but then Vel's like, look, take this manifesto he wanted you to have. And Cassian's like, It's like trying to feed a kid broccoli or something. He's like, no, I don't want it.
Right.
No. Eventually took it. What do you think is going to come of that?
I almost feel like that's his key to, like, one of the final steps of becoming a part of, like, the rebellion proper versus just being essentially at this point he's a mercenary.
Yeah. Oh, I would love that.
But I mean, it just again, it showed his character when he goes in there with the fucking weapon and they're like, oh God, we're getting robbed. And he's like, no, I just want my portion. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I'm going to use part of my portion that I was promised to pay for your fucking ship that's garbage. And I'm going to pay you more than it's worth. Just leave me the fuck alone. Like, yeah, that was perfect.
Got a great sense of justice, this guy. I really, really like Andor. Like, I said it before. I didn't think I was going to enjoy this when we just heard that it was coming. I didn't think that they could make it interesting. But sweet hell, this is so goddamn good. And I cannot get enough of it. They're doing this is exactly what Star Wars needed at this moment. We had some stinkers behind us. Oh, god damn it, it's so good. Then we flash over to Coruscant and Rail. And that little aside, hey, do you have anything from this planet? And the dude's like, oh shit, what? He's like, there's this fucking, a bunch of money was stolen or something. He goes in the back, let me go see. The guy's like, I was just making a joke. And then he just starts like laughing to himself. They're like, they did it. They actually did it. But he doesn't know the extent of the damage. Like, it's just Vel and Cassian left. Like, you can't be happy about that, can you?
But was it the people or the mission that was important to him, though?
Right. It's probably the statement of the mission.
Yeah. Because, I mean, really, that would be my guess, because it's looking at the greater good, not the immediate one, battle.
Yeah. Well, I hope we get to see Sindra again. I hope she gets out of there. I just don't want her to be like in a torture chamber or something. That would just suck. Because they'll do it. That's what the Imperial douches do. All right, so what do you think will happen next episode? I heard it's supposed to be more standalone instead of starting another arc. Oh, really? Interesting. I haven't heard anything, so I don't know.
I don't. I would love to see just a straight up one-off of the ISB. And like that dynamic, which, I mean, this episode led up to it, because that's what we got at the end, was just that giant congregation of them like, nobody's leaving tonight. Tell your families, blah, blah, blah. And like, I want to see that. I want to see the inner workings and just see where those stories go.
Yeah. I'm at a toss up, and maybe they could mesh it in the same episode, but I want to see that 100%. But I also want to see that dinner party that we've been teased.
Yeah.
Like at Mon Mothma's palace or palatial estate or whatever. Because I know there's going to be tons of drama there. She was worried about the Gorman affair, but now this, she's part of that alliance, and so to see her just sweating when people start talking about it, I can't wait to see that. It's gonna be so interesting to me, just watching the tension build and her just sort of dig her fingers into the sofa or something.
Right.
It's gonna be so good. What was your favorite part of this episode?
Oh God, I mean, it had to have been the escape. Like, that was just so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I thought it was better than the Kessel run, which that was the best part of Solo. Like, I could literally watch that shit on loop all day, every day, and not get tired of it. So to see something that outdid that, I was pretty goddamn pleased.
Yeah, it was really good because it wasn't just the environment, the atmosphere. It wasn't just the stress of the moment. It was all that and the actual characters that we're invested in, we care about, like each one of them, and then to really see Nemec almost die, and we don't know what's happening with him. Is he going to be okay? Is he not going to be okay? Are they all going to make it out? And like, because honestly, I did not know if they were going to get away. In my head, I'm thinking, well, maybe there's like an escape pod and Cassian gets out because we know he's going to live, but everyone else is just up in the air. Like, you don't know. So I was really I thought that was so goddamn good. Did you have a least favorite part?
And it's just nitpicking, but when Nemec got hit with the grav lift and they couldn't move it, it's like it's a fucking grav lift and it's clearly on because it's not on the floor. Like, you should theoretically just be able to push it with your finger and have it get the fuck out of the way. So I thought that was a little wonky. I understood why they did it, but that kind of was like, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, I had some sort of headcanon stuff happening at that time because, every ship has artificial gravity on it, so they're not floating everywhere. Like, I just made some assumptions that once they got it in place, it almost like latched itself to the floor, but in this particular case, maybe this one didn't, and I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Like, thinking about it, they should have, if it was powered down, been able to power it up and just move it aside. Like, it shouldn't have been a big deal, but oh well. All right. Well, we already talked what we want for this next episode. So is there anything else you want to talk about with this one?
Nope. I think we got it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Pike fan, for tuning in live. Chris, expected you expected this later. Sorry, we're a little early. Life gets in the way sometimes.
My bad.
It happens. Thank you guys.
Late, an hour early.
We really appreciate your time and attention. And of course, if you really want to support this channel, which we hope you do, because we put a lot of effort and time into this, so hit the subscribe button, click that stupid damnable bell, and like the video. That's, really important for those stupid algorithms and shit.
And it costs you nothing.
Yeah. So until the Infernal Brotherhood convenes again, my fellow scruffy looking Nerf Herders, may the Force be with you.
The Empire doesn't play by the rules.